Day 31 on the 88 Temple Shikoku pilgrimage, and today I visited temples 44 and 45. In terms of visiting the 88 temples, I'm halfway done, or a little over halfway, though I'm adding the extra bangai, and I've only hit 8 of those, so almost completely halfway done, but not quite yet. In the next few weeks, I will start hitting many temples a day. The pace is going to pick up. This day started off not raining, but basically walking in the clouds. Very misty, very foggy. Some really cool looking mountains in the distance with the clouds sort of rising up from them and moving in and out of them. But definitely a cold, damp morning walk. Part of the day I was walking along the road. Not too many cars on the road, so that wasn't all that bad. Though there were quite a number of timber trucks that came barreling down. Today's temples were magnificent, some of the best temples that I visited so far on the pilgrimage, and wish it had been sunny and wish I had had more time to visit them. The walk from temple 44 to 45, by the afternoon it had started to rain, and in places I was walking on the Ohenro Pass between the two temples, and basically the path had become a river. So there was a slight river next to the path, but the path would also become a river in places. In walking when it rains, the rivers are really flowing and they have a great sound to them, but the trails also get really inundated with water and sometimes hard to get through. I have waterproof boots, but by the end of the day, my feet were pretty wet. In getting to Temple 44, there was a huge Ohina Matsuri Festival, as there was when I was at Bangai number 3. They were all out in the street, they were everywhere, but it was pouring rain and they were hard. One, I was amazed so many of them were out in the rain. 2, that they just leave them there all the time. And I really wish I had more time to check them out because there were some really, really cool displays. The trail for the most part was pretty well marked, but there were places where I got confused and didn't know which way to go. Part of the Ohenro Trail kept splitting up and forking, but there were very few signs letting me know which fork to take. I kind of stayed on the main path, but there were a few signs letting me, sort of giving me the reassurance that I was on the right trail. So I just wish they had posted a few more. This is the Ohenro Path signs for me to follow. The last temple I visited today was amazing. Actually, the inn I'm staying at is right in front of the temple, and I was like, should I go to the inn? Should I go to the temple? It had kind of stopped raining, so I'm like, I'm going to go check out the temple because it's supposed to rain tomorrow morning and I'll just get it over with. It was an 800-meter hike up, a really, really, really steep hike up to the top. So I was starting to regret going, and then by the time I got to the top, it had started raining again. It was a cool temple in that it was kind of built into the rock wall. There was one area where you could climb up a ladder to the sort of meditative point. I didn't do it today in the rain because I just didn't feel like climbing up this kind of steep, scary ladder in the rain. I was also late for getting to my inn, and because I don't have a phone people can contact me with, I had to get here, and I showed up, and the old lady was getting worried that I wasn't going to show up. She's in her 80s, very kind, very sweet, kept, eat more at dinner. This inn is interesting. That's a very modern building. Last night I was in a building that was 100 years old, and everything creaked, and doors didn't open properly. It had got a lot of character. But in this inn, there's like no TVs. There's a giant 60-inch or so TV in the dining room, and she was there watching sumo when I came in. But no TVs in the bedrooms, and if you can see, I got a kerosene heater. Tomorrow's also supposed to be a rainy day. I'm heading to Matsuyama. Overall, today was a yin and yang day. The temples were really beautiful, but the rain put kind of a damper on the overall sort of mood of the day. The trails were really cool, but in the rain, they're really muddy and become rivers, so not quite as nice. But there's nothing you can do about the weather.